Discover the 3 miraculous past life revelations from Yogananda that reveal your divine purpose. On a tranquil evening, the quaint English village of Willowbrook lay cradled by lush, rolling hills, bathed in the last golden rays of the sun. Sarah, a devoted nurse and mother, stood at the altar of the local church, her heart brimming with gratitude as she led her children in fervent prayer. The wooden beams overhead seemed to resonate with their sincerity, carrying their hopes to the heavens. But amid this peace, Sarah felt a stirring deep within, a divine whisper calling her to seek out her faith more intensely. As she concluded the prayer, an elderly parishioner named Mr. Abernathy approached her, his eyes twinkling with wisdom. "Have you heard of Yogananda?" he asked, his voice a gentle tremor. With each sparse yet captivating story he shared about the revered figure, Sarah could feel miracles thrumming through her very being. Yogananda's past life revelations danced vividly in her mind, a past where celestial truths transformed mere existence into a tapestry of divine purpose. One tale spoke of a shimmering light that swallowed darkness, illuminating souls with hope. Another, about a miraculous healing in a village akin to her own, left her trembling with excitement. Each reflection resonated within her spirit, igniting an insatiable curiosity about the threads of divine wisdom woven throughout her life. But as her heart expanded with possibility, a shadow loomed at home. Her husband, Edward, an earnest man of science, grappled with disbelief. "Love, these stories are charming, but they're just that, stories," he said, his brow furrowed in concern. Sarah felt the tension coil between them, her newfound revelations clashing against his rational mind. She sought solace in the community of their village, who turned their prayers toward Sarah, holding her in collective faith. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Amid this, despair struck like a thunderclap when their youngest child fell gravely ill. The doctors echoed their uncertainties, each visit thickening the air with panic. Sarah felt as though she were perched on the edge of an abyss, her faith threatening to slip away as frustration raged within. In her darkest hour, she turned to Yogananda's teachings, kneeling in reverent prayer, entreating the heavens for a miracle. Then, in a flash, she was taken beyond time, the veil lifting to reveal a vision of a past life filled with strife but underscored with divine purpose. She saw herself, a healer in a time of great suffering, radiating love and light to those in need. The realization that her struggles were indeed laden with purpose surged through her like a river of hope. Gathering her courage, Sarah shared the revelation with the church community. Standing before them, she felt the weight of their collective faith, their breaths mingling with expectancy. But just as her vulnerabilities transformed into the hope of miraculous potential, a shift occurred. She received news that her child's health had taken a remarkable turn for the better. The church ignited with joy, but amid this elation, an unanswered question lingered in her heart. Had she truly unveiled her divine purpose, or was this just the beginning of a more profound journey that beckoned her forth? The days following her revelation felt both illuminating and tumultuous. Each morning, as sunlight spilled through the windows, Sarah felt a bubbling excitement. Yet, the echoes of uncertainty remained, especially in her conversations with Edward. He had witnessed the joy in the church but was cautious. "Sarah, I admire your faith, but what if it isn't more than mere coincidence?" he asked one evening, his voice layered with concern. Sarah paused, her heart heavy. It felt difficult to bridge the deep divide between them. As she pondered his words, she noticed a flicker of doubt trying to encase her mind. But then, she recalled the dream, the shimmering light that transformed darkness into hope. Every encounter she had experienced with Yogananda's teachings reminded her that faith often danced alongside doubt. Determined to explore this mysterious path further, Sarah began to meditate daily. She would sit in the gardens that hugged their quaint home, her breath mingling with the scents of blooming flowers. Each session felt like diving deeper into a well of clarity. Often, she would find herself lost in thoughts of her past life as a healer, the warmth of connection flowing through her veins once more. What had once been a fragment seemed alive, pulsating with energy and purpose. One bright Saturday afternoon, as she participated in a community gathering at the church, Sarah felt a gentle nudge, a calling to share her experience of the past life vision. Women and men migrated toward her, drawn in by the glow of her spirit. As she spoke, her voice trembled slightly at first but grew stronger with the affirmation reflected in their eyes. "I was shown my purpose," she began, "to be a healer among you." With each word, she sensed the weight of their collective faith supporting her, lifting her voice higher. She recounted the countless faces she had seen, the hands she had held, and how, through love, she was able to mend broken hearts and bodies. The congregation listened, captivated. Murmurs of agreement and awe swelled through the crowd, intertwining like vines of hope. She felt the energy shift. There was warmth and kindness wrapping around her words, echoing in faces lit by belief. Yet even amidst this moment of communal faith, she dared to glance at Edward. His brow furrowed deeper, skepticism mingling with curiosity. But there was something new, a softness glimmering in his eyes as he watched her, a stirring of something he might have buried. After the gathering, Sarah approached him, her heart racing. "What are you feeling, love?" she asked gently, feeling the spiritual energy still wrapping around them like a sacred embrace. I see the hope it brings," he replied slowly, his voice thick with a mixture of awe and apprehension. "But I can't help what I've always known, the evidence of science." "Isn't faith a kind of science of its own?" she asked quietly, her eyes pleading for understanding. "Isn't it the very essence of seeking the truth?" As the tension melted into conversation, Sarah's heart fluttered with hope. The barriers between their beliefs began to sway with possibilities, yet deep down, she felt a new question stirring within her spirit. What if there was even more to discover, beyond her visions and this sense of divine purpose? An exhilarating thought raced through her mind as she returned home. Had Yogananda revealed only a glimpse of her destiny? A new chapter awaited, filled with threads of faith yet to be woven together. As she lay in bed that evening, the moon casting silvery shadows across her room, Sarah closed her eyes and whispered a prayer. A soft light enveloped her heart, a deep assurance that their journey was just beginning. What other divine mysteries lay ahead, waiting for her to unravel? Tomorrow, perhaps, the answers would start to unfold. The dawn crept into Sarah's room, a golden stream of light spilling over her sheets. She stirred, her heart racing with anticipation. Today felt different. A sensation danced within her, urging her to rise and embrace what awaited. She could almost hear a soft whisper in her spirit, a gentle nudge urging her to seek out more of the divine truths that had been partially revealed. After breakfast, she stepped outside, her feet touching the cool, dewy grass of the garden. The symphony of singing birds filled the air, a reminder of nature's link to the Creator. With each breath, Sarah felt herself grounded in the present while her mind soared toward possibilities yet untapped. As she settled into her meditation, she opened her heart to divine connection, inviting the spirit of guidance to reveal more. The fragrance of blooming flowers surrounded her, but it was the internal fragrance of peace and promise that truly enveloped her soul. She closed her eyes and listened intently, waiting for that warm light to guide her thoughts. Like an unfolding scroll, images surged through her mind. She felt transported to another time, another place, where she was a practitioner of healing arts. Faces she recognized yet didn't know seemed to drift in and out of clarity. There was love in their eyes, hope in their hearts. And in that moment, a profound truth surfaced within her. Healing was not merely a profession, but a divine calling, an extension of Goddess love through her hands. "Lord," she whispered, "what am I meant to do with this gift?" A gentle warmth filled her being, and with it came an answer. Not all healing required physical touch. Sometimes, the deepest wounds were those unseen. People needed healing of both spirit and heart, and perhaps the bridge between awareness and action was where her ministry would flourish. As she emerged from her meditation, a knowing lingered in her heart. Each revelation was like a piece of a beautiful puzzle waiting to be assembled. How could she integrate her past life experiences with her present? Later that day, Sarah found herself wandering through the local marketplace. The vibrant colors and sounds swirled around her like a tapestry. She paused near a vendor selling handmade crafts, where two women were engaged in an animated conversation. Their laughter rang out, yet one of them wore an expression of deep sorrow, her eyes shadowed with unspoken grief. Sarah hesitated for a moment, then felt an irresistible urge to approach them. "Excuse me," she said softly, her heart racing, "may I share something?" The women turned towards her with surprise. She took a breath, recalling the warmth of divine assurance from earlier. I believe healing comes in many forms, and sometimes just sharing a few kind words can lift spirits. How can I help you today? The woman with sadness looked up, a flicker of hope igniting within her eyes. I lost my brother recently, she said, her voice quivering. Sarah reached out and placed a gentle hand on her shoulder, feeling a comforting energy pulse through her. I'm so sorry for your loss, she replied. Remember, the bond of love transcends both life and death. We can hold on to those golden memories. They are what keep our loved ones alive in our hearts. Tears brimmed in the woman's eyes. Sarah was keenly aware that her words were not just her own, they were flowing through her, inspired by a higher source. It was a divine moment of connection, a flowing river of healing amongst desperate souls. After their encounter, Sarah realized that she had acted not just as a healer but as a vessel of compassion. Edward's skepticism faded further from her mind. This was more than a battle of beliefs, it was about transforming lives, including her own. That evening, as she prepared for bed, a new realization washed over her. The journey ahead was uncharted yet filled with potential. What came next? The visions had only just begun, teasing out a tapestry of revelations still hidden. As her head hit the pillow, a spark of excitement ignited within her. What new divine lessons awaited her? What would be unveiled tomorrow? The mystery lingered, an enchanting promise of encounters waiting to unfold. As the sun began its ascent the following morning, Sarah felt invigorated. The soft warmth of the sunrays grazed her face, awakening within her the flicker of anticipation once again. Stars of revelation lingered in her mind, memories of the marketplace and the connection she had felt with that grieving woman. It was as if a veil had been pulled back, allowing her a glimpse into a world where her purpose beckoned. Stepping through the doorway of her home, Sarah was drawn to the tranquil beauty surrounding her. The garden had blossomed overnight, each flower a testament to life's resilience. It felt as though nature itself was celebrating her journey, urging her on. Today, she promised herself, would be filled with purpose. As she attuned her senses to the symphony of the day, she sensed an energetic pull towards the community center, a hidden space in her town where so many souls converged, seeking solace and connection. Upon arrival, the vibrant atmosphere enveloped her. Laughter wafted through the air like a sweet melody, intertwining with deeper conversations. She took a moment to observe, her heart open and eager to connect. In that setting, she noticed a young man sitting quietly in a corner, his features clouded with worry. Something prompted her to approach him, an unexplainable urging that felt like a divine nudge. Hi there, she began gently, it seems like you might need someone to talk to. His gaze lifted to meet hers, revealing a well of emotion that was set to spill. I just feel lost, he said, his voice barely a whisper. Everything feels heavy, like I'm stuck in a cycle I can't break. With compassion washing over her, Sarah sat beside him. Sometimes we carry burdens we weren't meant to bear alone, she said softly. What if you could lay some of that weight down? Her words felt charged with a peculiar energy, growing as they flowed unbidden from her heart. He blinked, surprised by his own release of emotion. I lost my job and with it, I lost a part of myself. I don't know who I am anymore. Oh, but you are so much more than what you do, Sarah replied. In our struggles, we often forget that our identity lies beyond our roles. She paused, sensing a divine connection blossoming between them. What brings you joy? What ignites the spark within you? His brow furrowed, contemplating. I love painting. But I haven't picked up a brush in months. I don't know if I have anything left to say. A wave of clarity surged through Sarah. Art flows from your spirit, a lens of healing, just waiting to be shared. Maybe it's time to let that part of you breathe again. She reached out and touched his hand, sharing warmth and encouragement. Sometimes, when we feel lost, we reconnect with who we truly are through our passions. A subtle change began to settle over him, like the first beams of dawn breaking through the dark. I never thought of it that way, he said, his demeanor softening. Maybe I could start again. Her heart swelled with joy at the transformation she witnessed. This was God at work, a reminder that healing wasn't limited to physical ailments, it danced in the realm of the spirit, in the hopes and dreams ignited in people's hearts. As she left the community center, Sarah felt a shift within herself. The seed of her purpose was beginning to blossom. Questions filled her mind like a bright array of lights. What more awaited her? Who would she meet next? How deep could this journey of healing go? That night, as Sarah sat with a cup of tea, she pondered her path. Dreams of colors, faces, and stories flowed through her consciousness. She felt as though she was being woven into the greater tapestry of life. The mysteries of her past life experiences shimmered at the edge of her awareness, waiting patiently to reveal more. What else lay ahead? What divine encounters would reshape her understanding of healing? The questions lingered, drawing her closer to the adventure that awaited. With the dawn of a new day, Sarah's spirit soared. As she poured herself another cup of tea, she could still feel the warmth from their conversation wrapping around her like a gentle embrace. The worries of life felt distant, eclipsed by newfound hope. But deep questions lingered. What else did the universe have in store for her? Heading outside, she took a moment to absorb the beauty of the world around her. The sun glimmered through the trees, casting shimmering light on the ground. Nature was alive, bursting with energy, and she felt it resonate within her. Drawing a deep breath, Sarah felt that familiar tug once more. It was a call pulling her toward the community center again. Upon entering, the ambience felt different today. Light streamed through the windows, wrapping every corner in a sacred glow. Conversations bubbled around her, but her senses gravitated toward a gathering of women seated on the floor, engaged in a lively exchange. Sarah felt the pull intensify, leading her toward them. What wisdom waited among these souls? Join us. One of them said, gesturing with a smile. The warmth in her eyes was infectious. I'd love to, Sarah replied, settling down on the soft carpet. The women shared stories, miracles of lost things found, unexpected kindnesses, and paths taken that had led to surprising transformations. Each tale was a fragrant blossom in their garden of shared experiences. It was a tapestry woven of divine threads. As they spoke, Sarah's heart raced. One woman, with dreams swirling in her gaze, began to recount a particularly vivid dream she had had. In it, I stood on a mountainside, she began, her voice steady but full of wonder. I could see for miles, and suddenly I was engulfed in light. I heard a voice saying that my purpose lay in guiding others, in helping them find their own light. A hush fell over the room, absorbing the weight of her words. It resonated with Sarah on a deep level. The imagery spoke to her soul, reigniting her earlier revelations. What if dreams were the whispers of God, steering them toward purpose? The conversation flowed seamlessly, bursting with insight. Each woman shared their own dreams, and their revelations piled upon one another like building blocks. Sarah couldn't help but feel that these were not merely dreams, they were glimpses into their spiritual truths, raw and beautiful. Have you ever had a dream like that? Asked another woman, her brow furrowed with curiosity. Yes, I think I have, Sarah admitted. The recollection sent shivers down her spine. I dreamt that I was walking a path lit with stars, and at the end, a heart awaited me. Perhaps that heart is where your purpose lies. A third woman exclaimed, her faith lighting up the room. The spontaneous energy ignited Sarah, leaving her breathless. She felt reassured that the journey of discovery was no mere fluke, it was guided by something bigger. Each dream, each story shared, echoed a divine synchrony, teaching them to embrace their authenticity. As the gathering drew to a close, a stillness enveloped the group. A sacred silence lingered, wrapping around their hearts. In that moment, Sarah closed her eyes, allowing gratitude to wash over her. She envisioned the hearts she would touch, the messages of hope she would share, and the divine threads that connected them all. Yet, in the pit of her stomach, she felt a flicker, an urgent reminder that this was just the beginning. What other dreams might come? Would she find clarity in the unseen? As Sarah left the community center that day, the chorus of her thoughts became increasingly alive. She sensed there were still more divine revelations awaiting, secrets about herself yet to be unveiled. What awaited her as she delved deeper? What miraculous experiences were lined up along her path? Each step felt heavy with potential, and the uncertainty shimmered like the stars she had seen in her dreams. As the days unfurled like the petals of a blooming flower, Sarah found herself yearning for more beautiful moments. Guided by whispers of intuition, she awoke each morning with a sense of purpose tugging at her heart. She had immersed herself in the stories shared at the community center, reflecting on the dreams that seemed to hold keys to her future. One afternoon, she decided to visit a little bookshop nestled in the heart of town. It was a place that had always filled her with warmth, the shelves lined with tales that felt like friendly faces waiting to share their knowledge. As she entered, the familiar scent of aging paper and rich coffee wrapped around her, and a smile crept upon her lips. "Welcome, Sarah," crooned the shopkeeper, a kind older lady who always seemed to recognize the light in each patron. "Looking for something special today?" "Yes, something that inspires," Sarah replied, her eyes scanning the shelves, seeking clarity among the stories. "Then you must read this," she said, pulling a slender book from the shelf. The cover shimmered with gentle light, and as it touched Sarah's hands, an electric sensation bolted through her. Jaw-dropping, she gazed at the title, The Divine Path to Self-Discovery. With a heart full of excitement, Sarah settled into a cozy nook with her new book. As she turned page after page, she felt as though the wisdom of the ages cascaded through her. It spoke of the soul's journey, the purpose woven through past lives, and the sacred threads that connect each experience. Each word flickered like starlight, illuminating her spirit. One passage cut through her thoughts, resonating deeply. "We are all parts of a grand tapestry," it read, "each memory, each heartbeat guiding us closer to our divine truths." She considered this. Could her dreams be reflections of past life lessons intended to guide her? A warmth blossomed within her, sending ripples of hope through her heart. Hours passed unnoticed as Sarah devoured the words, until she came upon a chapter revealing 3 key revelations from the teachings of Yogananda. It spoke of seeking one's essence, engaging the heart to serve others, and embracing the divine spark that existed within. The miracles of self-discovery would light her path, guiding her toward a life of authenticity and joy. Feeling exhilarated, Sarah recognized that engaging with her past was not a mere fancy but a yearning to birth her potential. The shadows of doubt that had lingered began to lift, replaced with a radiant confidence. Embracing all that she had learned, Sarah felt ready to venture boldly into a journey of unfolding purpose. As she left the bookshop, the sun dipped low, painting the sky a canvas of purple and peach. Each step felt lighter, invigorated by the wisdom she had absorbed. But amid the wonder, uncertainty flickered at the edges of her mind. What would these revelations truly lead to? Just then, a gentle breeze whispered through the trees, brushing her cheeks like a soft hand. The feeling ignited a thought: what if the universe was not just surrounding her, but revealing to her a new avenue of possibility every day? Her heart raced at the thought of opening up to new experiences, new connections, and unforeseen adventures. What awaited her beyond those pages? She resolved to embrace them wholeheartedly. As she walked home, the night cooled around her, her spirit woven into the fabric of the universe. There was still more to explore, more lessons yet to come. Who might she meet on this journey? And then, with a spark of excitement, Sarah asked herself, what if this divine unfolding would reveal her truest calling? The following evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Sarah found herself sitting cross-legged on her bedroom floor, surrounded by a handful of treasured items. Candles flickered softly, their warm glow casting gentle shadows on the walls. She had decided to create a sacred space where she could reflect and invite deeper wisdom into her life. Closing her eyes, she took a deep breath, willing herself to focus on the stillness within. What would she uncover in this moment of silence? As she inhaled, she felt the weight of the day melt away. Each exhale released the tension coiled within her. She envisioned herself surrounded by a soft golden light, an embrace of compassion and promise. With heart open, she began to call upon her past, seeking guidance beyond the veil of her current reality. "Show me, dear universe, what I need to learn, what I need to understand," she whispered, barely above a murmur. Moments ticked by. Thoughts drifted like leaves caught in the autumn breeze, and quiet enveloped her like a blanket. Suddenly, an image flickered behind her closed eyelids. She stood in a vast field, golden wheat swaying with the rhythm of the wind. Overhead, the sky was a brilliant blue, and warmth radiated from the sun. She felt a pull toward the horizon, feeling every fiber of her being ignite with purpose. Before she could grasp it fully, the image shimmered and dimmed. Sarah's heart thumped in her chest. This felt like a threshold to something monumental. She opened her eyes, her pulse racing, and leaned into the sensation that this was more than a mere daydream. Was it memory or mere imagination? A longing surged within her, compelling her to delve deeper into this newfound path. Guided by a sense of urgency, she picked up the book again, flipping slowly until her fingers paused on a page she had not yet explored. Words of wisdom unfurled in front of her, dancing with clarity. To truly discover your divine purpose, it explained, you must embark on a journey to uncover the gifts of your past. Reflect upon what chains you, break free, and step boldly into your truth. Inspired, Sarah closed her eyes again, letting the quotes linger in her heart. What chains held her? Fear? Doubt? She felt the bindings loosen, the weight of them shift, as though unseen hands were untying her knots. With a new resolve blossoming inside her, she recalled Yogananda's teachings about purpose woven through the threads of past experiences. Embracing his guidance, she decided to reach out to others who had touched her heart, to share her discoveries and invite their stories. Maybe, just maybe, each voice would help unravel a piece of the divine tapestry. Eagerly, she grabbed a notebook, writing down names of those she longed to connect with. Friends, acquaintances, even those who felt like flickering lights in her past. As she wrote, an undeniable sense of connectedness enveloped her. It felt as though the universe was gently nudging her forward. Just as she finished jotting down the last name, she heard a soft knock at her door. It was her neighbor, Mrs. Edwards, an old soul who always spoke as if she carried secret wisdom within. "Sarah, dear, I brought some herbal tea for you. I felt you could use a friend tonight." A wave of warmth washed over her. Perhaps she wasn't meant to walk this path alone after all. Sarah felt gratitude spilling forth. In her heart, she realized every encounter was a part of her journey, every shared moment a stitch in her divine tapestry. As she accepted the tea, Sarah's heart swelled with new anticipation. Could this be the beginning of an even greater revelation? The spark inside her flared alive, whispering once more, what if this is the first step toward discovering your truest self? The night deepened around them, but Sarah felt the light grow ever brighter. She had opened the door to her transformation. What new insights awaited her in the embrace of community? As the steam curled from the cups, wrapping them in a fragrant embrace, Mrs. Edwards settled onto the floor beside Sarah. There was something undeniably sweet about her presence. The old soul radiated an energy that felt timeless, as if she had witnessed the ebb and flow of countless lives. "Tell me, dear," she began, her voice soft like a lullaby, "what has stirred your spirit tonight?" Sarah hesitated for a moment, then poured her heart out. She spoke of the visions, the golden field, and the weight of the chains she was ready to shed. Each word held a mixture of fear and excitement, as if she were revealing pieces of a puzzle she desperately longed to complete. Mrs. Edwards listened intently, nodding along. With every revelation, Sarah felt the warmth of her neighbor's understanding. It was like unearthing small treasures buried deep within her, only to find someone who appreciated their worth. "You're sitting at the doorstep of an incredible journey," Mrs. Edwards said at last, her eyes twinkling. "You gather all the moments, the encounters, and that urge to connect each as a thread in your tapestry. But remember, my dear, the heart needs stillness to hear the whispers of the divine." Taken aback by her wisdom, Sarah pondered how often she raced through life, distracted by obligations and worries. "How do I find that stillness?" she asked, seeking guidance. "Ah, it lives within you. Every step you take toward openness brings you closer to it. Begin with gratitude. Remember your blessings, for they form the foundation of all creation," she replied, lifting her teacup in a subtle gesture of toast. Inspired by Mrs. Edwards' words, Sarah lifted her tea as well, her heart swelling with appreciation. "Thank you for being here. I feel like this conversation is part of something much bigger." "Indeed, it is, but I sense something even more pivotal awaits," Mrs. Edwards said, her tone shifting as she leaned in. "Have you ever felt the pulse of an old memory stirring deep within? The kind that beckons you to learn, to grow, to heal?" Sarah nodded hesitantly, the warmth in her chest stirring again. She could feel it, the echo of past experiences, sometimes joyful, sometimes painful. "Yes, but what does that mean? How does it connect to my purpose?" Mrs. Edwards smiled knowingly. "It means your past holds keys to your future. Yogananda taught that our souls have lived many lives, each leaving footprints on our hearts. Embrace it, and the wisdom will reveal itself." With that charge, Sarah's breath caught. What could those footprints teach her? She felt as if she were standing on the edge of a vast ocean, waves of past lives pooling beneath her, ready to wash over her consciousness. "Let us try something together," said Mrs. Edwards, her eyes glimmering. "Close your eyes once more and breathe. Let the memories come. We can invite them to surface gently, like dust motes dancing in a sunbeam." Taking Mrs. Edwards' gentle hand, Sarah closed her eyes yet again, anchoring herself in the moment. As she began to breathe, she felt the familiar golden light envelop her, this time with added warmth. She visualized the ocean, waves rolling in and out, carrying pieces of her past. Suddenly, faces flickered in her mind, friends long lost, laughter shared, and moments of sheer joy. Her journey felt eternal, and yet, in this instant, it felt as if she were touching something sacred. The pull grew stronger, deeper. She could sense her soul singing of ancient truths. But just as she was about to see where the tide would carry her next, Mrs. Edwards' voice cut through the stillness. "Now, what does your heart tell you?" Sarah's pulse raced as she sought the answer. What would she uncover in those glistening waves? What secrets did her past hold? As the night deepened, Sarah knew that this encounter would change everything, but she also felt the excitement of discovery urging her forward. What awaited her as she ventured deeper into the water of her own soul? In the stillness of that moment, Sarah anchored herself in the deep waters of her soul. With each breath, she felt the golden light pulsate, urging her to dive deeper, to ride the waves of memory that lapped against the shores of her consciousness. "Let go, my dear," Mrs. Edwards whispered, her voice harmonizing with the rhythm of Sarah's heart. "Trust the journey." The gentle caress of the light enveloped her, and Sarah surrendered. Memories cascaded around her like shimmering waves under the sun. She felt younger, lighter, as fragments of the past emerged, hints of laughter, echoes of joy, tinged with bittersweet moments that had once tied her down. Suddenly, a vibrant image arose, a lush garden filled with flowers in every shade, dancing in the breeze. At the center was a young girl seated cross-legged, eyes closed, draped in sunlight. She was painting. Colors dripped from her brush in divine swirls, each stroke releasing a feeling of love and hope into the air. Sarah recognized this girl. It was her. "What a beautiful sight," Mrs. Edwards remarked softly, her hand still cradling Sarah's. "What do you feel when you see her?" Tears brimmed in Sarah's eyes as a sensation of pure delight washed over her. "I feel pure joy. She is free, creating without fear. Each brushstroke is a prayer, an expression of the divine," Mrs. Edwards said. "What you love reveals your heart's yearning, your purpose." Just then, the scene shifted. The garden faded, replaced by a flickering memory of her mother's warm embrace, soothing words wrapping around her like a blanket. "You are loved. You carry light, my dear. Never forget that." A tear finally slipped down Sarah's cheek as she absorbed the love once experienced. I remember how safe I felt," she said, her voice wavering. But then the fear crept in as life changed. "Fear is a teacher," Mrs. Edwards reminded her gently. "What did it teach you?" Sarah closed her eyes tighter, silence buzzing in her mind. She remembered the late nights spent studying, the weighty doubts whispering they weren't good enough. "It taught me that I need to fight for my voice, to believe in myself." Glorious, Mrs. Edwards exclaimed, her voice warm like a candle flame in the dark. "The fear reveals your strength. Can you see it? The very chains you felt are the links to your freedom." With that revelation, Sarah was carried to yet another memory, a vast stage twinkling with lights. She stood there, microphone in hand, fear transformed into purpose. She was sharing her story, her heart. She felt the energy of the audience. Each face was a mirror, reflecting the same desire to be heard. "I want to inspire them. They need to know they are not alone." Sarah whispered, eyes still shut but her heart wide open. "Indeed, dear. Your calling flows freely when you embrace your past." Mrs. Edwards' voice was steady, anchoring Sarah amid waves of truth. "Embrace the lessons, and your divine purpose shall be revealed." A powerful warmth enveloped Sarah's heart, an inexplicable peace washing over her as she breathed it in. She sensed the threads connecting her memories, weaving them into a tapestry of possibilities. So many colors, so many voices, each echoing the truth of who she was meant to be. But as these realizations settled within her, a deep yearning tugged at her spirit. What does it mean? How do I take these revelations into the world around me? Mrs. Edwards gazed at her with an understanding that transcended words. Ah, dear one, the journey continues. You have merely touched the surface. What lies beyond awaits your courage. Sarah's heart raced anew. There was a depth yet to explore, a calling broader than she ever imagined. Could she really face the world with the essence of these revelations guiding her? As she opened her eyes, the air felt charged with vibrant potential. What awaited her beyond this moment of discovery? What challenges would she face as she stepped into her purpose? The night hummed with unanswered questions, the dive into her soul only just beginning. The sun began to rise over Willowbrook, washing the village in a warm glow that mirrored Sarah's heart, a heart now filled with purpose and revelation. She had tasted the divine nectar of her past lives, understanding that her journey was not just hers alone but woven into the essence of every soul she encountered that morning. As she prepared for a gathering at the church, the echoes of Mrs. Edwards' wise words lingered in her mind. You have merely touched the surface. What did that mean for her now? The anticipation bubbled within her, and she felt the gentle pull of the universe guiding her forward. As she reached the church, the air buzzed with the energy of community and faith. Sarah felt energized and ready, the weight of uncertainty lifting. Friends, neighbors, and familiar faces surrounded her, each one a thread in the tapestry of her life. She scanned the room, and her gaze settled on Edward. This time, his expression reflected a blend of admiration and curiosity, as if he had witnessed something extraordinary within her since she had embraced her purpose. Good morning, love, she greeted him warmly, her heart open to share. As she spoke, she felt the warm embrace of vulnerability, each word painted with sincerity. Morning, Sarah, he replied, his voice steady and soft. You're glowing today. It's the light of our journey, Edward. Last night, I uncovered magic in my past pieces that connect me to healing others. I found my voice, and I want to use it to inspire. He studied her, eyes widening with intrigue, and smiled. I want to hear all about it. The church gathered, and as the congregation settled, Sarah took the stage, her pulse steadying with each step. This was at the moment to share her heart, just as she had done on that stage in her memory. The room quieted, anticipation hanging in the air like a silken thread ready to be tugged. I've had visions of healing, of love and light shining from within us all, she began. Yogananda taught me that past life experiences shape our journey, and what I have learned has led me here, to this moment, to you. Her voice trembled with warmth as the room stirred with murmurs of acknowledgement. She sought the gaze of each person around her, drawing strength from their energy. When we embrace our fears, we find the courage to share our light. I want to invite each of you to reflect on your own pasts. What dreams have whispered? What light do you carry? The congregation leaned forward, captivated by her passion and sincerity. Sarah felt the divine bond wrapping around them like a comforting embrace, the space transforming into a sacred cocoon. And know this, she continued, feeling the gentle push of divine spirit guiding her words, the heart needs stillness to hear the whispers of the divine. In stillness, we can unlock the treasures buried in our souls. Amid the fervent nods and expressions of hope illuminating the room, Sarah glanced at Edward. Tears glistened in his eyes as he absorbed her words, a silent testament to the bridge forming between their worlds. As her speech concluded, applause erupted, and she felt a wave of joy wash over her. She had shared not only her purpose but ignited the spark within others. People rose to their feet, voices chanting, "We are the light. We are the light." In that moment, a stillness fell upon her heart. Was this the divine revelation she had long sought? She felt embraced by a love that transcended understanding, a community bound together by gratitude and growth. Afterward, Sarah took a deep breath, excitement bubbling in her veins. Each conversation she engaged in flowed like a river, filled with light and warmth. Men and women approached, recounting their own dreams, their own journeys, a tapestry of shared experience. After the gathering, Edward found her amid the laughter and joy. "I'm proud of you, Sarah," he said, sincerity weaving through his words. "You've opened doors for both of us. Together, we can find understanding beyond belief," she replied, her voice fierce yet gentle. "Thank you for trusting this path with me." As they walked home, hand in hand, the soft glow of dusk painted a canvas of hope above them. The worries that had tangled their lives slowly began to unravel, threading their hearts together in a deeper connection founded on faith and possibility. Sarah realized the journey didn't end here, it was a beautiful beginning. Each step forward carried her further into the depths of healing, illuminating the lives of others with warmth and grace. She knew her divine purpose was unfolding, and with it, a commitment to love and serve. And so, as she whispered a prayer of gratitude that night, the universe breathed alongside her, promising that every day would reveal new mysteries and miraculous moments waiting to be experienced. Now, dear friends, let us reflect on what moves us today. You need to subscribe immediately to this channel, for the next exclusive faith stories are coming. Leave a like now, your support is crucial to help our message spread. Comment below with your reactions and testimonies about what you felt during this journey. Don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this divine manifestation. Together, we can shine brighter.